Welcome to the Socialize Forecast, Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. Congratulations, we made it through January. It was the longest month ever. And the jokes about January being 130 days long or whatever, they are on point. It's been amusing to see a lot of content creators talking about that. I laugh every single time. Anyway, we made it. So here we are in February, and this week is a crazy one for me. I have a lot going on. I am teaching a conference tomorrow, and I'm going to be teaching staff in a corporation how to create video content for their sales force. So that's a little outside the box for me. It's really fun to have come up with a workshop plan. I have a whole, I don't know what you would call it. I guess a lesson plan? No, what are we going to call it? A curriculum. I have a curriculum now for teaching corporate workshops. I'm very excited to see how it goes. And directly from that workshop, I am off to the airport, heading to Tampa. I'm speaking at a office furniture conference in Tampa on Wednesday. And then Wednesday night, we have our meetup. So I'm hoping that I'm going to see you there. If you haven't responded and you are planning to show up, just hit reply to the newsletter message, either that or leave a comment in the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, I would just love to get an idea of head count to see how many people I'm expecting. A couple of people have told me they're going to be there, and I'm looking forward to it. I made a little list of who they are so that I might look them up and recognize them before they show up. So if you surprise me and I don't know who you are, apologies in advance, because I can't do any homework if you don't tell me you're coming. Anyway, I am so excited for that. It's going to be the first time I've done something like this. I hope I picked a good place. All the worries that I have, very minor worries, but I'm sure it's fine. And I know some people are driving from far, so I hope that we have a really good time. I guarantee we'll have some laughs. Anyway, I started off the newsletter this week with, oh no, the table, it's broken. And I have to laugh because if you've been on the apps long enough and you know that trending audio where people use this kid saying, oh no, the table is broken when a glass table shattered. It's so funny because how many times do we hear TikTok sounds in our head when things happen? So I'll have something happen where something breaks or whatever, like my washing machine stopped spinning the other day. And I was like, oh no, the washing machine, it's broken. So it's like TikTok somehow has infiltrated my brain cells. And oftentimes I'm with friends who are not on social media and something will happen and I'll think of an audio and I'll be like, no one's going to know. How will they know? They're going to know, that audio. I will sometimes do that. And my friends look at me, I don't know if they get it. I mean, first of all, they probably don't get it. And they either think I'm just being funny, in which case I just take credit for it, or they're just thinking I'm losing my mind. So I have to say that it has changed my brainwaves forever. And I have become so in tune to video memes. I'm going to call them video memes because they're not really, they are. They're like memes in video form. That's how I'll look at it. And I get such a kick out of it. And I think it helps me cope on things when something's stressful and I can attach it to a TikTok audio and have a little smile out of it. So even though I think a little bit that social media is getting broken because of how it's changing, how I remember just the carefree fun of social media in 2020. And we were all on there just to amuse and keep ourselves entertained while we were in lockdown. And since then, it has evolved so much into a place to sell, a place to make money, a place to get attention, a place to create drama, share news, sides of news that sometimes we don't even hear on the news. It's gone from being just pure joy and pure fun to, I think, part of the thread of our existence in a way that I don't think it's all positive, I think that before I didn't ever think I need a break from scrolling. I mean, scrolling was the break. It was the fun. And now if I'm trying to find trends or I'm doing some research for a client or a thing I'm working on and I want to see more videos about something, whatever, like for the office furniture thing, for example, I'm doing some research about office furniture businesses. So I'm scrolling. And I guess my point is now I need a break from scrolling because sometimes scrolling is work related, or it's not fun because I'm now curating my FYP in a weird way because I'm looking for something specific. Or sometimes it's just too much news and I don't want the news every time I open my phone. I was thinking this too. Let me just throw it out there while I'm at it. But there was a young girl who was talking about, she wanted to hear from older people. And she's like, I want to know, was it ever this bad? Like, were times ever this stressful and dramatic? And there was so much dissension or whatever? And I have to say that my instinct was to say no, because I've never been so distracted by things in the way that I am now, or aware of them, I think. But as I started to think about it, I realized that's because I didn't have my television on all the time watching the news. I was at work, interacting with people, doing things, shooting, whatever, editing in editing rooms, laughing. We were not that in touch with current events 24/7. We just weren't. We didn't even, and then, if I was busy, I didn't watch the news for weeks on end. Who knows? I don't know. Sometimes I was editing till 2 a.m. on a project, whatever. It was a commercial that had to meet a deadline. And we weren't aware of it. So I think part of it is there's twofold things going on. And that is, oh, darn, I have to pause for a second. Well, I'm so glad I took that phone call because it was regarding the conference on Wednesday that I was just talking about, that I'm going to be speaking at in Tampa. And it was important information. So I'm glad I stopped and picked it up, but now I don't remember where I left off. So I'm just going to keep going to where I think I was, which is I do think that we have had so much of a nonstop awareness of current events, things happening, news, even things like celebrity drama that we used to have to go to a supermarket. Now I'm dating myself. Go to a supermarket and get the Star magazine or whatever, People magazine. And that's when we'd read about it. It would come out after a month's time. We didn't have access to this kind of information constantly. So I do think maybe things might have been as stressful. I don't know. But I don't think we were as constantly aware of it so that it would impact our mental health day in and day out, hour after hour, as we are now. So I think that's the big difference that I think. All right, so to switch subjects now, I'm just going to jump off that train and get on another one. We are working on vlogging. And last week, you might have remembered on Friday, I think I did a whole podcast on vlogging and a whole newsletter. And this week in the studio, actually today, I released a mini challenge with a very intensive vlogging lesson. And it is a 20-minute lesson, which explains vlogging from soup to nuts, like how to think about it, how to go about it, two different ways to approach it, from audio first or video first, with voiceover or with on camera. I mean, I covered it so well. I'm so proud of that tutorial. It took me a while to make it, but it's well worth it because it just gives you a really, really good, broad understanding. And this is when I realized I really should be teaching. Like, this is what I should be doing in my life, because I take the time to figure out how to break it down so that people can really understand it and digest it and put it into practice. So a lot of people can explain, but the people who walk away can't actually execute on it because, like, that was a great demonstration. I love it, but I can't figure out how to do it myself. No, I am doing both. I am explaining the demonstration really, really good, showing it, and then also giving you the tools to actually do it yourself. And that's probably what I love the most. So if you have any interest in YouTube and vlogging, this is the month to get in the studio. February's it. We are in it. We are in it deep. We're going into YouTubing. We're going into vlogging, and we have a challenge going on this week. I can't wait to see people's vlogs because I think that's out of the comfort zone for a lot of people. All right, so I'm excited about that. As I mentioned already, Tampa, Wednesday night I will be at the American Social Bar at 5 p.m. after my conference wraps up. And whoever wants to meet there, you can reply to the newsletter, say hello, tell me you're coming so I know who you are, or just surprise me, I guess. Why not? I love surprises, sort of. We'll talk about that on another episode. We also have upcoming Tamsin, so make sure you get signed up for that workshop where I'm going to be interviewing Tamsin, and the info is in the newsletter. Let me see, that is February 19th, so I'm excited about that. We're going to have a nice chat, and we'll be talking about her journey to writing a book and leaving her news job. So I'm excited to ask her a few questions about that and see how she's feeling about it. Okay, let's just hop into some of the trends because they're easy and fun this week. We have, hey, Blake, it's 2 a.m. And that one's funny because Julie hopped on it right away, because when she is up at 11, it's 2 a.m. for New York time. She's on the coast. But the funny part of it is sometimes I'm up later than her, even though I'm three hours later than her because I stay up very late and she tends to go to bed maybe by midnight. Sometimes I'm up until then. Crazy. I'm up until 3 a.m. So midnight LA time. I don't know. That's just, sometimes I'm just on a roll at night getting tasks done, and I really am more efficient late at night. So that's just me. So if you have something that you want to talk about, like you're trying to reach someone for a funny reason or whatever, and you know that it's late at night and they go to bed early, whatever it is, you can do something fun with that audio. You can make it like, even if a person goes to, like my friend who goes to bed at 8 p.m. because there's people that get up super early in the morning and they go to bed at like 8 or 9 o'clock. I can't even imagine. They're on a whole different life cycle than me. Really. And for the record, I'm up and at 'em by 9, sometimes earlier if I have to be somewhere by 9, but I'm like kind of on a roll. So it's not like if I stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning, I'm not sleeping in till 11, that's just not me. Anyway, that might've been too much information. All right, let's carry on to the next one, which is, we'll have a look. Now, this is funny because it is a soccer, aka football reference, where there's an announcer and he's like, let's have a look, because I guess they're looking at the replay of something. And so it's a really kind of niche, fun audio, and it's funny. So whether it's like you're trying to show off something that's your favorite place, or a cozy nook you've created in your home, or someplace, a coffee shop you like to be at, this is a good one to totally just think away from sports and into something else. Like, it's really cute and funny. So I urge you to take a look at that one. For Instagram, we've got Miss, you forgot something, and then pop, 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 and a lot of pops happen. And the girl who we shared the video of has clothing items that pop on as she's talking. So this is a good one for those who are learning transitions and want a nice, easy, where you just stand still and things pop on. What's funny, you could do the flying clothing flying on transition, which I taught in the studio last month, where the clothes fly on. Yeah, that's a good one for that, like pop, 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 pop. So that's a really good one for that. And I will mention that, since I'm mentioning something from last month in the studio, all of the mini challenges and the lessons that I teach do get filed into a little place where it's under mini challenges, and you could tap and you can go back. So if you came into the studio now and you're learning about vlogging, and then you're finished learning about vlogging, but maybe the next topic that we're on doesn't really suit you, you could go back to the month before and look at you can just go into the mini challenge sheet and you can look at the clothing transition ones, if that's more of your speed, depending on what we're working on. So that's what I love about what's happening in there. It's becoming a cumulative place for all the meaty good stuff that's not going to get buried. So in my YouTube, on my TikTok, when I share tutorials, 2 weeks in, they're down at the bottom of my page. You can't file them easily. I mean, I can put them in a tutorial playlist, but even the playlists, they go down on the page. So it's a good place where you can tap mini challenges, and then you can see a list of what the challenges are and go right to the tutorial. I don't know. I'm just really happy about the organizational part. I guess I'm a frustrated wannabe organizer, but I'm not always that organized. But Julie has organized this so sweetly that it's all perfect for me, and it's all there. All right, last trend. I forget what it is. Been dying to tell you this. It's a great audio to reveal a fun announcement. Oh, right. It's when you can announce something that's happening. Like a small business, you're opening your new cafe, or you've just launched your online store, or I don't know, anything that is related to some kind of announcement. You just decided to leave your job and take stand-up comedy classes. Julie. She didn't leave her job, though. That's the good news. Whew. We don't need her leaving her job, or where would I be? All right, so let's move on. Next thing was just our social media workshop with Tamsin, which I already mentioned. Original content ideas. So, of course, since we really went hard on vlogging last week, one of the ideas this week is maybe to try and make an entertaining vlog. Put the tips that we shared last week into practice. Again, if you really are struggling, you don't know how to do it, if you see the tips and you read them and you say, but I don't understand, maybe a month in the studio would get you over that hump. and you'd be a vlogging professional. The next one is managing winter blues. So winter is in full swing. If the cold is bumming you out, share how you stay positive and cozy in the winter. And that's a fun one. I'm actually feeling like summer right now. So I'm going to take those. I have the window open in here and it's dead winter outside and I'm still warm. But anyway, if you have like a favorite blanket, what's my favorite blanket? Barefoot Dreams. I love the Barefoot Dreams blanket when I'm chilly at night, when on that rare occasion that I actually am chilly for 5 seconds. And then I have to rip the blanket off immediately. But show us the small things that make winter life manageable for you. And then lastly, I just did this. And of course, I completely forgot to post it. And I made a video of what's in my workspace when I'm recording a podcast. And I picked up all the things on my desk and I talked about why these things are here at the ready for me when I'm recording a podcast. And it's funny because I did the whole video and I realized, it's the one time my tripod wasn't sitting on the desk. It was over on my chair. So the whole thing was recorded and I didn't have my main staple, which is my tripod. But anyway, give us a tour of your workspace, show off the special things you keep around you to keep yourself motivated. My thing is my little stickies. I always have these here because that's how I make my to-do list. See, I have little stickies with my notes and then I stick them over there. And then when I'm ready to do a task, I run over and grab one so that I don't get overwhelmed. I've talked about that before, so I won't belabor that point. But yeah, good times. Good times. And all right, let's see what other things I have to talk about before I leave you. One is just a reminder about Jamaica. I'm not going to go into that again since I did go into it deeply last week. And I presume you guys listen week to week. I don't like to repeat myself that much. So yeah, I will spare you. But listen back, Jamaica, May 1st to the 4th for Women's Entrepreneur Conference. For the tutorial this week, in case you missed it, this is a very unique one that I figured out I could do because of a skill that I have. And I wanted to see if other people would be interested in this same technique for recording speaking videos. So I've talked about how to record speaking videos multiple times in different videos. And most of them involved recording in segments, taking a pause, record a segment, take a pause. I don't recommend doing teleprompter. I'm not a teleprompter fan. But what I did figure out that is almost like a teleprompter, but for me, worlds better, is come up with what I want to say in my own natural words of the way I would say it. So I would not do it I wouldn't send a memo the way that I would speak something. So I type it the way I would speak it, not the way I would send it in an email. Okay. Once I have it typed out, I turn on voice notes on my laptop and I read it, but I don't read it. I say it. So I just have the notes there. It makes it very easy to read it, but I can just kind of read and do it like as if I'm saying it in my real tone, but I can actually read it at the time so I don't leave anything out. So I read the whole thing, and I'll go, today, I'm going to teach you how to do and this, and if you really like this, and I just say it very naturally into my voice notes. And then I put one AirPod in my ear and I play the voice note while I record the video and I just talk right after it. So it's like a ear prompter situation. So I demonstrate this in this tutorial for you of how I make it work, where I can do some notes, make it into a voice note, play it in my ear, and then speak it so I can hear myself and record the video. And that way I'm not making a mistake, recording it over, sounding scripted, sounding like a robot because I'm reading something. So if you have this skill to be able to speak after by a few words behind, it's a really cool technique. And so I demonstrated in this tutorial, and that is what I shared for today's newsletter. All right, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed a little visit with me on a Tuesday, and I am going to hop out of here, get myself packed and ready for my travels, because straight from the conference I go straight from my video lessons, my whatever you call it, workshop tomorrow, straight to the airport, and off I go into the next thing. So I'm very excited about my travels this week. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see you in Tampa if you're there. And if not, I will see you on Friday at the next podcast. Thanks for being with me, as always.